where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.
Oh, welcome to Where My Mom's At. I'm your host, Christina P. Did you love my intro song?
Your intro, does he say gotta clean shit, gotta take a nap? What does he say?
taking shits, need a long cleaning shits, I'm so tired. I haven't slept in 4 years. Can you tell?
Yeah, I can relate. I haven't slept in 8 years.
Oh my God. Okay, with me is the fantastic Alyssa Milano. Hi.
Hi.
I can't believe you're here. I'm so excited.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but first let me get into some small business, stand-up business. Come see me do stand-up August 2nd and 3rd, Salt Lake City, Utah. Nadav, move the thing. I can't read.
Sorry,
September 5th, Milwaukee. September 6th, Chicago. September 7th, Boston. October 3rd through 5th, Nashville. October 17th, Irvine. November 22nd, Seattle. November 23rd, Portland, Oregon. I've just added Irvine, right? Did I say Irvine? Yes, I did. Oh, there it is, October 17th. So come see me locally at Christina P online. If you haven't already, check out my 2 Netflix specials, Mother Inferior and The Degenerates. Okay, thank you. My friend Alyssa Milano is here. Thank you for joining. I'm so stoked.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you've started your new podcast, Sorry Not Sorry.
Yes.
Which everyone knows you as obviously a superstar, television star, perfect hair person from the 80s.
Perfect hair person. I look at those pictures and I'm like, what was I thinking?
No, every girl listening, I guarantee we all tried to do the Alyssa Milano. And on your mom's house, you revealed your secret. Could you reveal your secret to your hair now?
So I used to bend over and spray my hair when I was bent over and then use the blow dryer while I was still bent over and then
the foosh. It looked really good.
Yeah, I think I went through a phase too of like a really small round brush.
Yep. But now, you didn't do the 2-layer, like the one that goes back and then the one that goes.
I mean,
you did. I remember.
There were a lot of phases.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I do recall.
It was an evolution of the bang.
But I'm telling you, everybody listening to us right now, at some point wanted to look like you, talk like you, be you. Maybe that's just me, but you were pretty fucking cool. Still are pretty fucking cool.
That's very nice.
You're
uncomfortable.
I know. I'm sorry.
Nice.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I have to tell you how I feel.
I appreciate that very much.
You're so fantastic, and I follow you on the gram, and you're a huge champion of the Me Too movement, and also of breastfeeding. I mean, I think you've been a huge part of normalizing it, and I think every woman listening thanks you for that as well.
That was an important thing. I think for me especially, I actually had someone tell me to go into the bathroom once while I was in the mall breastfeeding, and that's where it all started. And the baby was, after you give birth and you just start to like creep your way out of the house.
Yeah. And just starting right now. It's been a year.
You look around and everything kind of looks different. Like everything has a weird glow. Like the leaves look different. Like all of a sudden, it's like you woke up from a weird vacation nap. Right? So I started to go out of the house and I'd go to the mall and just walk around and breastfeed. And I had some guy come over to me and say, you should really do that in the bathroom.
And it was a guy on top of it. Of course. Was he an older guy?
He was an older guy, yeah. He was probably in his 50s or 60s. And I said to him, I was like, would you eat where you shit?
Yeah.
Like, why would I put my baby through that? And that's when that was the impetus to start posting those pictures on Instagram, because I was like, we've got to do something. And I'll never forget, I went on Wendy Williams, and she actually fought with me about it.
I remember this. Yeah. She was like, whatever, breastfeeding is it's a short window of your life, and then you forget about it and you move on. And I don't know what this Alyssa Milano's make a big deal out of it kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
no, I was on the show with her, and she was like, I just think you should do it in private. And I said to her, if you're lucky my baby's not here right now, because I'd whip him out and breastfeed right here on your show. But yeah, I mean, and I've seen her recently and everything's fine, but it was such a weird thing. So weird, and I go to this place of like, there's no other country that where lactation consultants actually exist.
Oh, right. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's because we've created this job for people to teach us how to do the most natural thing in the world because we don't see other women do it. The
Oh,
first
I
person
never did.
I saw breastfeed was me.
Right, same.
And I was like,
don't think I
oh,
did.
this is cool, right?
I
and
was
now-
more like, what is happening? I think you have a much more relaxed attitude than I do. Wait, first of all, let's see. What's your mom resume? How many children? How old?
Okay. I have 2 children. I have a boy, Milo, who's 7, and a girl, Bella, who's 4.
Oh, yeah. So you're a varsity mom. You're 2 kids deep. You're all in. And your kids are older than mine. So I consider you a varsity level mom.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like a varsity mom.
Yeah.
Does that mean, yeah.
I'm still JV. Like, I'm learning. I'm still kind of.
Got it. I mean, you're always learning, though. You never had it.
come
You never have
on.
it down. Sorry.
I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Cool moms, Alyssa.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, I'm super cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See,
Yeah.
and a lot of people think I'm literal when I say I'm a cool mom. What I mean is now, like, I feel like one kid is like, you can still have one foot in the door of being a kind of cool lady. 2
Right.
kids, it's like, I'm all in, dude. Like, I'm
Yeah.
all in.
And I feel like my older one knows that I'm not cool mom anymore. Because he's already like, I went to his, he had a little talent show today and he played the drums. And
God.
afterwards I was so proud of him. I went to kiss him and he's 7. And he was like, Mom, please. I was like, who are you trying to impress that you don't want mom to kiss you?
No,
Yeah. And it's just like a
I don't like that.
thing.
I
And
don't
then
like that.
do you ever flash back to like moments with your mom of like,
Oh, no, I try not to.
I have an amazing mom, but I flash back to moments of like, like, does my breath smell like my mom's
I think about
breath
that
smell?
all the time.
And I'm
I
like,
think about
maybe
that all the
that's why he
time.
doesn't want to kiss me right now is
He'd
because
tell
there's
you.
a smell that's going on.
He would
I
tell
didn't tell
you.
my mom. Did you tell your mom?
Yeah.
You did?
I tell her, you have
I
too
didn't
much
tell my
makeup
mom.
on. You have too much hairspray. Your nails are too red. You have too much. I didn't like touching her. Yeah, she was a real asshole. Now, I got a lot to work on in therapy. But I wanted to tell you just before we go on, I don't want to just gloss over. I think it's, like I said, very culturally important of what you did. And it's hugely significant. And I do think you're going to go down in the history books of social media as being somebody who actually used the platform for something inherently good, not
Well,
just
that's
like,
nice. Thank you. But now we
look how hot I
need
am.
women to because I can't breastfeed anymore, not lactating anymore.
oh, they look great. I mean,
They're so much smaller.
smaller.
Funny, I was at a photo session yesterday, and I've had the same publicist for 20 years, right? And she would always be just very on high alert that my nipples wouldn't be showing, right? And she kind of still does that, even though I'm 46. And so, like, so I was wearing this kind of off-the-shoulder jacket, like this, it almost looks Chanel, really, really cute. And she's like, do we need tape? Like, immediately going back to this place. And I was like, my nipple is down here now. So no, there's no chance that those nips are gonna slip out
they're not.
in
But they
this
look-
thing that
They look high and tight still.
it's the bra.
It's the bra. You got to tell me what you're using. And my nips have changed color. They used to be pink, and now they're forever purple.
But I told you why that is.
But the hormone. Yeah, but doesn't it go away? Doesn't it go away?
Sometimes I don't think so.
Oh fuck you. Okay. I love to start the.
Does anything else go away?
Well, did you C-section? I forget.
Yes, twice.
Okay. Do you still have feeling in those nerve endings? I hear sometimes.
It came back.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, in some places.
And right.
Yeah.
But your vag is normal.
But here's the thing: is my kids both think that you only have babies through your tummy. Because I'm not quite ready to tell them that it comes out of your vagina because I feel like they'd be so horrified.
I'm still horrified. Like, I can't believe they came out of my vagina.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna break the news. So
No,
now-
you'll have to tell. So let's start. We haven't even done our intro clip because I'm so excited to talk to you. We have a lot to get into. This clip was sent to me by my cousin Shadi today. Just see what's going on here. This is amazing.
A debate raging over a Florida city playing children's music at a park pavilion at night to keep homeless people away. People say the music rotates between Baby Shark and this song.
Cheese.
It's raining tacos. Raining tacos.
So they're playing this music to keep homeless people away?
Yeah, this is in West Palm Beach, which I don't know if you've been
I mean,
there.
those are some privileged homeless people
Oh.
if they're like, oh, we're not going to stay here because of the kids' music.
Well, West Palm Beach is very nice. I
Yeah,
don't know if you've
it's-
been there.
yeah, I guess
it is hoity-toity,
Yeah.
and I love it. But this is cruelty on a whole other level. Now, I'm a huge fan of Baby Shark. Have you heard of this taco song?
Yes, actually, I heard it at the talent show today.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta look it up because I'm a huge fan of Baby Shark. I actually prefer the Baby Shark Trap remix. Have you heard that one?
I don't think I have.
It's really good.
Does your little boy do all the Fortnite dances too?
Are we in the Cool Moms Club right now?
I don't think so.
I think we're here, dude.
Are we?
I'm so excited you brought it up because I've downloaded Fortnite in an effort to learn more about the dances because I'm on TikTok. I'm really enjoying those vibes.
Yeah.
Are you there yet, Mom?
I'm not there.
Do you keep up with all the cool things your kids are into?
They're not into that.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. But can he do the dances? More
Yes.
well?
Yes. He can do the dances. All of the like and the floss.
Yeah, I can floss. I
can floss.
Okay,
I
shit.
can floss. I'll floss you right now. I'll dance you off with the Fortnite dances.
I can't wait. I love it. So
Yep.
what I like to do also is mom fails. I love to know what people are doing wrong because I feel like social media, you're very honest. And by the way, the first time I saw you breastfeed on Instagram, that picture was a lovely black and white photo you posted.
Yeah, I made it black and white so people would think it was artistic.
I loved it. I love that you did that, by the way. Genius.
Conscious choice.
You're so smart. Yeah. Well, I saw it and I was jarred. I have to admit that I at first
Really?
was like, whoa. Because I'm like, well, you don't see that. I've never seen that before too. Like you said, like you do it in private, it's your still secret and your family sees you do it. But to see you on social, I'm like,
Interesting.
oh, she's so brave.
Was
She's
this
so-
before you had kids? And yeah,
No,
I guess no.
No, this is recent. This is like maybe in between the kids, one having one and the other. Yeah, look it up. Let's look it up. Because how long ago did you post this? I feel like this is
I've
fairly
posted
recent.
Like
Like
that's
that
Bella.
one, I remember
That's
that.
Bella. Yeah. I don't know if I posted Milo.
But there was one I swore I thought. That's it. That's it. That's the picture heard around the world, right? That's the one that got you. And
I don't know if that was the first one. I've done quite a few, obviously, because
so pretty. Though.
because the outrage from the first one, I was like, oh fuck this.
I love it. You know what's interesting?
Oh, the Wonder Woman one.
Oh, that's
that might have been the
fantastic.
first one. That was Halloween. time.
Fantastic. Look how great your Hooters look too.
Yeah, those were the days.
I have to tell you, I'm so stoked because my kid's finally turning 1 this Saturday, and I'm throwing a huge party. There's that Wendy Williams. There she is. I got catering. I got an open bar. I got a fire truck.
Amazing.
Dude, girl. And this party is not for the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is for mom.
Of course. It's
I'm
the
out
cool
of-
mom party.
It's a cool mom party.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the postpartum funkadelic time for me.
Right.
And we'll go into all
Okay.
that shit. Yeah, right? Because you had a postpartum funkadelic experience
Yeah, with both
as
of
well.
them. Not as bad with my daughter because I knew what to expect, but with my son for sure.
Yeah, mine flipped actually. Mine was worse the second baby, if that makes any sense.
Well, what's the age difference?
2.5 years.
So, and how long did you breastfeed the first?
I did.
For how long?
I lasted 4 months and then I tapped out.
So you were only basically either not pregnant or lactating for how long in between? Because that's a lot of it is the hormones going, okay, I have to breastfeed, I have to make the milk, and then weaning, which crashes the hormones, and then all of a sudden you're
Yes.
pregnant and you go up again, and it just sort of builds up. And I think that they're finding studies now that
wow.
women that miscarry before a pregnancy also has that hormonal shift, and they suffer from postpartum anxiety and depression worse than
100. Because I had 2 miscarriages
Me too.
before. OMG.
before each pregnancy.
No, before the first one, before Ellis. Because I used Clomid.
I had a miscarriage before Milo and a miscarriage before Bella.
Brutal.
Yeah, but I sort of looked at it as this is what my body does,
Yeah,
like to get
cleaning
ready.
you're
I
cleansing
don't
the
know
palate.
I don't know what it is. But I was also older. I was 38 when I had
Me too.
Milo and 41 when I had Bella.
Me too. Exactly. Whoa. Wait.
Whoa, are we
That's
the same
weird. Are we the
person?
same person? I just turned 42 when I had, like, literally 3 weeks after I turned 42.
And I think that has something to do with postpartum too, not to like totally depress us. But I think when women have babies later on, when they're close to being transitional menopause,
yes.
again, it's like that hormone shift. Our body's not supposed to be having babies at our age.
At 40? Are you
No, and the hormones it takes to create a human.
Yeah.
A human. We're creating a fucking human.
I know.
And then breastfeeding.
Which I think kept me in it longer. Because the second baby I breastfed only a month longer.
See, it's interesting. Because I felt that with Milo, I breastfed until he was 10 months and he weaned himself. And I felt like my postpartum was bearable until I weaned.
Really?
And then I just think my hormones crashed so low
Sure.
after weaning. Like I had postpartum anxiety for sure from the second he was born. I would, in that middle of the night when he would wake up and I would hear the monitor and I would literally have such a panic attack. That 3 a.m. feeding when everything is so still and dark and silent.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yes. What is it
Terrifying.
about the middle of the night? Because that still spooks me when the kid pops up and cries. You got to go down there. Something about being woken up out of a sleep is like, it's even more terrifying for me.
Well, and sleep deprivation and anxiety and everything, all that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But for me, I just remember I had panic attacks and then I had weird like OCD. Did you have OCD?
Yes. Checking. Yes. I would check the monitor. I would check the Nest app. I would go into hyperdrive on Amazon. We don't have enough diapers. We need to buy more.
I used to go into
stuff.
his drawers.
Oh, God, girl.
And I used to smell his clothes to make sure that they weren't smelling musty. You know that musty smell
yes.
and I'd take everything out and I'd like air it out and I'd fold it back. And I was really not well.
Yeah.
Like really not well. And then I went back to work, which was every time I drove away from the house, it was literally worst case
And
scenario.
this is Milo? This is the
This
first?
is my first, yeah. It was worst case scenario for me. And I went to my OBGYN and she was like, no, this can't be postpartum because you're so far out. And I was like, well, I just weaned breastfeeding and this started happening really bad. Like, can't I just be different? Why do I have to fit into this perfect box
But
of
it
what
makes
postpartum?
sense because your
She told me-
hormones are coming
this is what
back.
she told me. She said, you know what? It's a big life change. Go for a hike.
Bitch.
Take a yoga class. I'm not kidding.
And did
I
you hold
was
her
like,
hand and make eye contact?
Yes, she did just like that. And then wait,
So
this gets
condescending.
worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. She said, and I'll never forget it for as long as I live. She looked at me in the eye and she said, and if you want a second one, we should probably figure that out now because, you know, you're 39. And I was like, wait, I'm not even sure I want the one I have,
Right.
like, let alone a second one.
Right.
It was so bad. And then finally, I found this through a friend who also went. I found this amazing doctor who specializes in women and mental disorders just through transitional hormone experiences.
wow.
So pubescent,
wow. Yes, I had a major problem in puberty too,
which
emotionally.
they say goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did, but I don't remember that I did. And then, so pregnancy, postpartum, and menopausal women, he only treats. And he said that he started the practice because, which I find this so interesting. He was working after he finished and got his, he became a doctor. He was working in an ER, and he was overwhelmed by the fact that women were coming in with anxiety and depression right after giving birth, and nobody knew what to say to them or do for them. And he was like, I'm going to open a practice that specializes in mental health of hormonal
Who's
women.
this guy?
I'll give you his number.
Can I go to
His name's Dr. Sparago, and he's amazing.
Okay, he's in LA.
Yeah.
So did
he's
you
in LA.
fire this gynecologist that held
Oh,
your
of
hand?
course.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so how did you find your way out? So my friend Leanne Kreischer, she calls the early stages of motherhood the dark forest. And some women go all in and they have a hard time finding their way out. Some women can kind of get their head out. You maybe work part-time or you go back to work full-time. But how did you get out of the dark forest?
It was hard because I was also battling this thing of like, I didn't even know if I wanted to work.
Yeah, that too. That's a big one.
Right?
Of course.
And then the balance of, well, it's a thing that they say where working moms are supposed to work like they have no kids, and moms are supposed to raise kids like we have no work.
Right.
And so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was resentful that I had to go back to work, you know, and we were a 2-income family. And I was like, wait, what? I've been working forever. This is my time to be a mom. Of course, I wouldn't have been happy just with that either. It wasn't that was bothering me. It was a hormonal chemical reaction to having a child. And I was really messed up, but I needed medication.
Yeah, me too. What did you get on?
So, well, to handle I was on a lot.
Let's talk about it.
To handle the, and mind you, this was after I weaned, so we could really go for it.
Yeah, good for you.
But after I weaned, I was on a benzo and a gabapentin, which is a
what does that stuff do? Because
it's an anti-seizure medication. Gabapentin is, and the off-label use is for anxiety. It just kind of shuts off that part of your brain.
I love it.
Benzo is a sedative.
So it calms you down. It
Right.
turns off the
So
fight or
that's what
flight
I
panic
did.
in the brain.
Right. Which I learned a whole bit. Like the fight or flight happens from the brain stem, which is the most primitive part of the entire body. There's been absolutely no evolution at all. And so fight or flight is it's a real thing. And our bodies react to it in a very real way. Even though you're like, well, my life isn't in danger.
Right.
Your brain stem doesn't know that.
And the
apparently.
adrenaline, I remember.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, you feel constantly. If you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not sure I have anxiety. If you're super tired all the time, if you feel adrenalized for no reason, everything feels big. Like I remember just the thought of getting my kid ready to go to the doctor when he was an infant. Like how. Okay, well, his nap time is from 10 to 11, and then the appointment's at 11:30, so I have to plan, and then we have to get snacks, and then the nap.
Snack. And how am I going to get in the car? And oh my God, are they going to fall asleep in the car? Because if they fall asleep in the car, the rest of the day is shot.
Yeah.
And what if they wake up cranky? And I mean, it's like a whole thing that we put ourselves through.
Yeah.
And I was on Zoloft, which
that's
stopped.
a good one.
It stopped working completely
Oh.
for me. But that was after I had Bella. So I stayed.
So you could stay on it while you were
I
pregnant.
wasn't on all that medication while I was pregnant. I weaned off of the benzo and the gabapentin when I knew that we were going to try for Bella. And then we went down on the Zoloft to like a micro dose. And I stayed on the Zoloft while I was pregnant with Bella, which I was terrified of, but they assured me everything was going to be fine. And the whole time you're thinking, well, I have to take care of how am I going to do this?
Oh my
and
God,
you're right.
yes.
Like that
It's horrible.
thing.
It's so hard to be pregnant with a toddler. It's the worst, especially being old and pregnant.
And then I was really, really, really good for I breastfed Bella for almost 2 years.
What?
Yeah.
You
and
deserve
I'd probably
a medal.
still be breastfeeding her if she would still take it.
If she would let it.
She was always just the most cuddliest child.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I had this yoga instructor who told me that she breastfed until she was 4, and I was horrified. I was like, oh, that's disgusting. I would never. And then, 2 years old, I was like, I could do this for another 2 years. But she weaned. And that's again when my panic and anxiety happened again. So
See, I'm the opposite. The minute I had to stop breastfeeding in order to get my sanity and my hormones back. Because I found that it kept me in a suspended state of pregnancy and that feeling of not being in control of your body or in control. And I need to be in control.
Right.
And I think breastfeeding threw me out of being able to you're at the beck and call of a baby and their appetites. You have to sync up your schedule. Oh yeah. Like all the time. So how did you do that for 2 years? How did you keep up with Bella's schedule?
Well, once they start eating solids,
right.
It's just they just want it for comfort
it's
at a certain point, right?
Oh, so it's like morning or whatever.
Morning and night. We did it.
But that's nice. And you could keep your supply that way?
I would pump. I had such a crazy reserve of breast milk.
Wow. You could sell it.
You know what I did? I made their solids with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I would make, homemade carrots or whatever, and I would mix the breast milk in it.
That's
so that
fantastic.
they were getting breast milk basically the whole 2 years. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it was great. But for me, that's just how the breastfeeding sent out the happy hormones, I think, and that kept the mental health in check.
And then you stopped with Bella, and that's when the shit hit the fan.
And I remember
again.
the last time. Do you remember the last time you breastfed?
Yeah, and it makes me sad.
I know,
and it
me
gets
too.
so sad. I know, I hate it.
We were in a My Gym class, which is like a mommy and me class, and there was a loud noise, and she freaked out, and she walked over. She said, "Mama Chi-Chi," and that's what she used to call my boobs. And she still calls them that, but she doesn't eat off them. And she curled up in my lap, and she breastfed, and that was it. That was the last time she ever.
Did you
asked
cry?
for
I
them.
wept on both occasions of my children.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I hate it.
And I think about it all the time, like, what's gonna be? And we have boys, so it's gonna be earlier. What's gonna be the last time I'm able to carry my kid?
No,
my son?
I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, it's not. I can't really carry him like this anymore. He's 7. He's like 60 pounds, so I have to put him on my back. But there's gonna be a time that doesn't even work.
I don't like it. My 1-year-old is in that wonderful mommy-centric time where he's starting to walk, and he just mommy all day long. If
Looks
I
back
walk
for
away,
you. Yeah,
I love it.
so
I love
sweet.
it right
But
now.
I just want to go back to
Yes,
the medication
let's go.
conversation.
Let's go.
Just so that
we need to go way deep. We got to go.
yeah.
way
So
deep
wait.
on
So then, so the Zoloft stopped working after I weaned off Bella, and we had to switch my antidepressant, which is a thing, and we went on Effexor, and
because it is quite common that they stop working, from what I understand. Antidepressants, for some reason.
I think your brain learns that like that it has to overcompensate to feel the anxiety, the fight or flight, because your body's doing what it's supposed to do. If it thinks it's in danger, it's supposed to release that feeling.
But if you have, but if it's in hyper mode, it's because the wires, it's a missignaling, obviously. Like the reason you and I had such extreme postpartum, because your body thinks something traumatic is happening when it's not.
But I'm not so sure that childbirth is traumatic enough to trigger a very real fight or flight. I think childbirth is really invasive.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really hard. I was in labor for 18 hours with Milo. I pushed for 3.5.
And wait, what kind of birth what'd you do? Hospital, home?
Hospital. And I mean, for the 3.5 hours, not to get too to script, but a nurse's hands are basically inside. And
sometimes multiple. I had them change shifts during my pushing.
Yeah. And I think it triggered my sexual assault.
Wow.
And I don't think people talk about that.
Wow. I think you're right.
I think it is so invasive and can be so invasive. And I remember sitting there going, why is this really horrible feeling so familiar to me? And I didn't realize it until Me Too, when Me Too hit, that I hadn't dealt with my sexual assault, but B, that was the moment that triggered, I think, my PTSD. And I think I had PTSD from tough labors.
100%. I think birth is so traumatic for so many women. Sometimes the sheer physical act can be traumatic. You can have a reaction for a long time after, or like you said, it's reminding you of the original
trauma.
thing. So were you cognizant of that?
I wasn't cognizant about it until I after Bella and I went through another bout of like another episode of anxiety. I realized that I needed to do a deep dive into therapy. I had a friend say to me, the only way out is in. Yeah. And I started doing my psychiatrist recommended somatic experiencing.
Tell me about this.
It's very interesting. So a doctor came up with this theory that from watching wild animals, that animals in the wild have to deal with fight or flight all the time. Mm-hmm. Basically, there's not a day that goes by that they're not in some kind of life or death danger.
I think about that all the time when I watch these wildlife documentaries. I'm like, how are these cheetahs napping? Yeah. How is this adorable monkey taking a snooze at any minute? A vulture
it's
could
so
come.
True. Yeah. So what this doctor found is that after these traumatic experiences, the animal has some sort of physical thing that it does. Like you'll notice it'll like thump its leg or it'll shake.
You literally see dogs shake.
Yeah, it'll shake it off like this.
Like Taylor Swift?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And so what he took that to be is a nervous system reboot.
I totally get that.
So somatic experiencing is where you're in therapy, and it's like almost a combination. For me, it was a combination of talk therapy and physical therapy, where you identify where in your body the trauma is living, and you kind of work it out in a body type of way. So whether that means explaining what the feeling is there, and you can notice, like, if you're talking about something that's traumatic, sometimes you'll get like a weird eye twitch, or a muscle spasm, or you'll tense up, or you'll get heartburn. There's different physical indications of where your body is holding the trauma.
100%.
And it's all about releasing that from your body. And since I've been doing it, I haven't had a true panic attack, because I used to go to the hospital with panic attacks. I haven't had a true panic attack in over a year.
Oh, wow. From this therapy?
And I'm not on any medication besides the antidepressants. So I'm not on any sedatives anymore, anything like that.
And you did this, you think it's because of the somatic therapy?
Well, I think it's also...
I mean, in addition to all the other stuff you're doing.
dealing with the sexual assault trauma that I've had to
the
deal
initial.
with.
And had you dealt with it before birth, or birth triggered the memories and the everything?
Birth triggered it.
Everything.
But I didn't realize it until Me Too. And when I sent out that tweet, what happened was a phenomenon. But on top of that, just the personal aspect was I was being given this gift of women feeling open enough to talk about their own sexual trauma with me, which was so beautiful. But it triggered everything that I had suppressed in my own...
the echoes of your own
I was
stuff.
like, oh my God, that happened to me, or I know what you mean, so all of that, those feelings that I had suppressed came into fruition. And when I was in therapy and I was talking about my sexual trauma, and then she said to me, because the best thing about therapy is that they actually ask you the questions in a systematic way that makes you connect the dots. And we were talking about my sexual assaults, and then she said to me, did you have traumatic childbirths? And I was like, yes. Yes, I did. And it just sort of clicked that was a really hard thing. And I think that women don't realize it. Nobody's talking about that.
Nobody's talking
how
about
invasive childbirth is. And
well, nobody, I mean, I to be fair, I never took like a birthing class. I was told I was going to have a C-section. So they were like, don't even.
Oh, really?
And I was like,
you were told that beforehand?
Yeah, because like, have you seen my husband, how big he is?
Yeah.
And they're like, this kid's head is enormous. You're tiny. You're never going to push this out of you. And sure enough,
I would have rathered that.
What do you mean?
My OBGYN, after 18 hours of labor, came in, hair blowing in the wind, looking fresh as a daisy, in a mini skirt. I was 170 pounds.
Yeah, of course.
And she actually looked at my husband. This is the same woman that told me to go for a hike. And she looked at my husband and she said, yeah, I could have told you this was going to happen.
Well, bitch.
And he was like, how come you didn't tell us 6 hours ago?
Yeah.
Or 10 hours ago, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
No shit. Well, that is horrifying. They put you through it, and then they end up just
all
cutting
worth
out
it,
of
by
you.
the way.
No.
Totally worth it.
But yeah, I think birth is traumatic. Definitely. Look, I was fortunate that both of mine were pretty easy peasy. I mean, episiotomy by that. Hey, 2 episiotomies. But I just took the drugs, and Bob is your uncle. It wasn't the actual birthing. I feel like because I just was like, I'm just gonna fucking I'm gonna Eastern Bloc my way through this shit.
Amazing.
I'm like a psychotic warrior. Yeah, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I just tend to dissociate from my physical body, and I think it's because I wasn't in touch with my femininity at all before I had children.
Oh, that's interesting.
So being a mother now, I'm really like, this is actually cool that I'm a woman. Like I can make people, I can feed people with my body.
The female body is the most miraculous machine I think ever.
Yeah. And
It's amazing.
It's fucking,
We're perfect.
we're so
We're fucking perfect.
that's so true.
Yeah.
We're amazing.
We're amazing.
We should be worshipped instead of marginalized and paid less.
Oh, we should definitely be paid more. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
We create the people.
Yeah. And if men had it under control, they would just give birth to themselves.
Yeah. We deserve raises just for making the people.
Yeah. And making men.
Oh my God. And then they fucking hate us. Why do they? And then they hate their mommies, the bad ones, right?
But how crazy is it that like we're women and we make penises?
I know. I think about that all the time.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. The first time I made a boy
Like you
inside
made
of me.
2 penises.
And balls. Yeah, I
and
know.
testicles.
I know. I call them balls.
Yeah.
Testicles. And yeah, it's all fucking amazing. But I'm so glad that you're talking and we're talking openly about this, because I remember when I had Ellis and I was looking for podcasts where people were talking about postpartum or just feeling like maybe motherhood is not 100% awesome. Like every time a Kardashian has a baby, there's always the cover of People magazine that's like baby bliss or any celebrity.
Right.
And you're like, I mean, yes, it's fucking amazing, and it transforms you and makes you into a better person. It enriches your life in ways you can't even convey. I love being a mom. It's the role I was meant to be.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it.
Right.
However, I think it's a 1950s, it's kind of an anti-female thing. The party line is you better enjoy it all the time. This is your, like there's this misconception that it's all great all the time, and women aren't allowed to say that it's not all.
Well, I feel like people maybe knew that if we were super honest about it then that nobody would have kids, right? They'd be like, wait, what? It's going to trigger what? You're going to be.
thing.
So I think that we romanticized
Yes.
but I also think that there's an element of expecting women to just put on
that's what I mean.
the thing.
That's what
like,
it is.
You know, it's fine. I'm just
No,
gonna,
it's great.
yeah, just to let go of ourselves. And but if you look at,
I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but to be completely self-sacrificing. Let's not forget,
Exactly.
you need to give up everything to
Right.
be a good mom. If you're
Right.
good at it, you're gonna put on a
but
smile
that's
and
the
you're gonna renounce.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's the projection that they really want us to embody, right? They society wants us to embody this beautiful sort of image of the new mom on the white sheets with you know, the perfect pink baby, and it's just not like that. It's just there are beautiful moments, don't get me wrong, but even the beautiful moments, there's something really raw and primitive about them.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Like your baby finally stops screaming in the middle of the night from a fever and sickness and then is asleep in your arms. And then you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. But it's only after you've been awake all night
Right.
and you're in your sweaty pajamas
Yeah.
and your tits are hanging out.
Yeah, and leaking.
And and you're just miserable, but you're like, this moment's great. And then 30 seconds from now, it's going to suck again.
Right.
And then 30 seconds from now, it's going to be great.
And I find those cycles to even be like, you know, remember, and you're probably still in it, but I remember so vividly. My sister-in-law just gave birth 4 months ago.
Oh shit. She's
they're-
in it, man.
They're in this place right now, though, where the baby's just finally starting to sleep. He's sleeping, you know, dream feed at 10.
Right.
Baby wakes up at 7 a.m.
Praise Allah. Yes.
But what I don't want to say to them is, but I know it's going to happen. The baby's going to start teething. And everything's out the window. Everything that you think, every hump you think you're over right now, or the baby gets sick, or something happens.
It's always something, man.
And it gets completely thrown off whack.
Well, please tell me, Varsity Mom, that around 5 years old things calm down.
Yeah, I
Sleep
can
around 5
tell
years.
you 7 and 4. It's really glorious right now.
I mean, there's a light.
There is totally a light.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
It's special, you know, even though I miss having babies so much because it's just the thighs and the little
The thighs are the
knuckles
best.
and the
Oh, their fat
little-
knuckles, that's where my baby going
Oh,
now.
and their necks and all of it's so yummy. And I do miss that. But you know, my husband and I are able to, like, you know, have a cocktail at 6 o'clock at night and sit outside while the kids are off and running around the backyard. And it's like we're able to look at the fruits of our labor and say, you know, and then it's like that.
I know.
I look at my kid and I'm so obsessive compulsive. I look at Milo and I'm like, he's going to be 8. He's going to be 8. That means 10 years from now. Like he's going to want to move out of the house or go to college. So we basically only have left what we've already had.
Yes.
And he's like, why are you even thinking of it that way? I'm like, because
I'm crazy.
Because I'm a crazy person.
I also count Christmases.
Right.
I go, we're only going to have 15 more Christmases.
That's really depressing.
Yes, I know. That's why I make every one the best one ever. And I decorate the house and I get the lights on the house. It's perfect. Much better than my childhood.
I remember, though, there was one, talking about like the projection versus the reality. There was a really interesting interview that Leslie Stahl did with Felicity Huffman. And this was years ago. This is when she was in that movie where she played a trans woman. And what's the name of that? Transamerica, I think was the name of that movie. Anyway, she was on 60 Minutes, and Leslie Stahl said to Felicity Huffman in a very condescending Leslie Stahl kind of way, so Felicity, is motherhood the best thing you've ever done?
I love it.
And up until that point, I had only heard women say it's really amazing and rewarding and it's so beautiful. And Felicity looked at Leslie Stahl and she goes, no. And not only that, but I resent the question.
Wow, girl.
And
good.
Leslie Stahl was like, you know, she did a Leslie Stahl move. And Felicity said, would you be asking my husband, she's married to William H. Macy. She said, would you be asking my husband that question? No, it's not great. It's, and yeah, there are moments of it being rewarding, but I gotta tell you, 80% of my day, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
And I was like,
full of anxiety.
Holy, this makes so much more sense than like, and it's true. 80%, you're wondering, do you go to bed every night? And are you like, how did I fuck up my kid today?
All the time. And by the way, I've heard 51% awesome is what parenthood is.
Oh, really?
51. It's that 1%. Look, you and I went back for seconds. So clearly there was something about it the first time.
But I didn't go back for seconds for me.
Who'd you go back for?
My son.
To get him another. Did you have siblings growing up?
I have a brother who's 10 years younger than I am. So but I'll tell you exactly what happened because I remember the moment. I was totally fine having one. And I met with our estate planner who asked a question of if David has passed away and you're on life support, who do you want to have the controls? And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, my poor kid. Yeah. Like, I don't want to put him through this alone. He should have someone to argue with about this.
Don't kill mom.
Yeah, exactly. I have to give him a sibling so he could fight with someone about this.
Yes.
And so that was the moment. I was like, we should probably have another child because I don't want him to have to go through this.
That's a good point. I wanted a second because I felt it was selfish of me to have him so old. I'm old. We're old, mom, really, in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. And I wanted him to have a sibling to at least, you know, if I should die. Do you worry about your mortality a lot more? I feel like I obsess about my own death now a lot more. And I was always very existential, and now it's in high gear.
Really?
Yeah, like I do Pilates twice a week. I adhere to a primal diet for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I do cardio.
I
see my dentist regularly for cleanings.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think I'm more sort of, I've always felt that when it's my time, it's my time. And my kid, is your 3-year-old obsessed with death yet?
No.
It's a weird thing that when that happens.
When they learn about it, what age they?
We had a couple of pets die.
Yeah, we did too. I just said that the dog went to doggy heaven. Just because death is heavy at 3.
Yeah. I did that with the first dog that died in the family, and my son still, when he goes up in a plane, will look for that dog.
Oh,
because he thinks the clouds is, you know,
are you heaven. Like, hey kids, stop being so dumb?
Yeah, no, not yet. We're gonna have that conversation when we do the vaginal birth conversation. I'm going to tell you that Dodger is not in the air and babies come out of your vagina.
Oh, God. Isn't that, could you remember the first time you learned what intercourse was?
Yeah, it was a book.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You saw it in a book?
Well, because my brother's 10 years younger than I am. My mom got pregnant when I was 9, which is, by the way, a year and 2 months away from that's the conversation I have to have soon with my son. And my mom gave me a book called
What's Happening to My Body?
Where Did I Come From? Look it up.
And I'm sure because it was the 80s, it was an enlightened, soft.
There was all like, here we go. It was all
Let's
about the penis. And I remember something about the penis making. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, I got the What's Happening to Me book.
Oh.
You got Where Did I Come From?
Yeah. There's a section about
my
feeling
God.
like a feather inside your vagina. By the way, I'm still waiting for that feeling.
The feather?
That's what it says in the book.
I never heard no feather.
Yeah, it tickles like a feather.
Okay, I'm going to throw up from that one. But let's talk a little bit about, I want to go back to this postpartum depression thing just for one moment, if I may. What was your relationship with your husband like at that time? I mean, how did he sense that you were on edge? Like, did your behaviors change?
Yeah, he knew for sure. And I think he just didn't know how to make me feel better. And I think that was, and again, because I didn't have the normal postpartum experience where I pushed aside the baby, and because most women have depression, they don't want to get out of bed, they don't eat. I didn't have that. I had the opposite, where I didn't want anyone else to hold him. I was
that too.
Yeah. More of an obsessive compulsive sort of behavior. And he just didn't know what to do. And it was hard. It was hard because you feel like you're robbing them of a time that should be so joyful.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for us. The beginning was not joyful for us.
Can I tell you, I'm going through that now with Julian, my second son, he's going to be 1. And I have so much mom guilt over not really enjoying the first 5 months of his life. Like that time for me was really dark and traumatic. And that stuff to me, the early infancy where they're so helpless and they're, that part, like I was a wreck because that's when I OCD and I check on the baby. Is the baby sick? And of course the second baby gets sick way quicker than the first one because the first one brings home all the germs, all the nasty. So that the second baby, Ellis brought home hand, foot, and mouth disease when the baby was 8 weeks old. Oy. I had everybody quarantine the baby. Like, don't go to this wing of the fucking house. Like, I was nutty. And then the fires happened. And I was like, we gotta go. I was out of my mind, man. And then I get it. Oh, and then I finally, I was like, I need something. I think I need I've never taken meds before. I've always white knuckled through therapy and trauma work and stuff. And I'm like, I think I need to be on something. And I got on Lexapro, and it just took the edge off. Yeah. That fight or flight you're talking about, it brought it down to like a normal clip so that I could actually talk to my therapist and it would make sense. Like, because when you're in panic and you're in anxiety. No, you can't. During like the height of an episode, it's very hard to make sense of anything. And you have to take care of that part before you could dive into the real therapy, the therapeutic part of therapy. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Which, by the way, talking to your friends, Alyssa says this wonderful thing, if you listen to what she said before, that a therapist, you talk to somebody, a licensed person, and then they can guide you with the questions they ask you to better conclusions. So a lot of people, they say, why do you need to go with a therapist? Don't you have friends? I'm like, A, no, I don't have good friends. And secondly, a therapist can guide you because they know what the right answer is. Friends are talking about postpartum. I mean, it wasn't until I was open with my own, and I had a great group of mommy friends. Oh, you're so lucky. But none of us talked about the fact that we were going through something. Why not? What do you think that? Because the stigma attached to mental health, I think, and mental illness. And then once I was open with like, I'm going through this postpartum anxiety, and then it became like, oh my God, I totally had that. Right. I'm dealing with that right now. And all of a sudden it was like, you are? Yeah. Like, why didn't you tell me that? And I just think we need to be able to communicate better with each other as women. Yeah. But we don't have
any of that village mentality anymore.
No, we don't. But I'm hoping to build that with, because I do believe in the podcasting community, like Your Mom's House. As much as that show is about derelicts and pooping, like there's a strong community behind it. And I believe this show is the beginnings of that too, where women can feel like they can hear
But it's still
conversations like
isolating.
that. It is very,
yourself.
well, even being isolating, taking care of an infant is extremely isolating.
Yeah.
You're literally home alone.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The village mentality,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not supposed to be that way.
No.
You're supposed to be able to, like, you know, give your child to your cousin to breastfeed. And I mean, that's the community aspect and the village. And this is, again, why we need lactation consultants, because we don't see other people breastfeed.
Yeah.
And so we don't know how to do it.
Oh,
Our
I
body,
didn't know.
we don't know how to do it.
It's so hard to.
And that's why, I mean, if you look at the immigrants that moved to this country from other countries where this village mentality is very prevalent, even places like countries like Italy, the communities that they immigrated to, like if you go to any sort of New York Italian, like Little Italy or anything like that, even the houses that were built are mother-daughter houses, right?
Yes, it's
They're
true.
two family houses.
100%.
And everything's really close to each other, and it's specifically for that reason, because we were not meant to raise children in a vortex.
Without your grandparents and the aunts and the uncle, and we have no, I
And the
have
neighbors
nobody.
and the cousins.
That's
and
right. That's 100% right.
Yeah. I'll be that for you.
I love
'Cause
you.
We,
Come
we,
live. I'll hold your hand and I'll look in your eyes. I'll tell you better stuff than your gynecologist did.
okay. Maybe not that part.
Get on antidepressants.
You're right. Exactly.
All right, let's do some mom fails and we'll get you out of here. I know you probably have mom stuff to do. Did you pick up your kid? You have to pick up your kid from school today?
No, my dad is picking them up.
Your dad, that's so nice.
He's really hands-on papa.
I love hearing that.
Yeah, he's very, very sweet.
Was your mom good?
I have great parents.
They were normal. Yeah.
I don't know if they were normal.
But they were good. Good
Yeah.
enough. And that's, have you heard of that? The good enough parent?
No, but I feel like I need that. What is that?
Yeah, me too. Because I tend to go into perfectionism. My mom was mentally ill. My dad's an alcoholic. So I'm very much an overcompensator when it comes to how I raise my children. I'm extremely, I try to stay conscious and I go to therapy and I do everything, right?
You take care of your own health so you can take care
Hell
of them.
yes, girl.
Yes.
Anyway, there's this idea of the good enough parent. It's a book that came out where it says you don't need to be perfect. They did studies on parenting, and actually they found that people that are too good at parenting raise children who are inept at the world in general. And if, as long as you have a good enough parent, you're going to thrive. So that's all I'm aiming for is fucking good enough.
I mean, I always say my parents were fucked up enough to make me interesting.
Yeah, that's good
Right?
too. That's
Yeah.
what I want. Because
Yeah.
you don't want a kid that doesn't have any juice, no stories for the party, you know?
Or the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your kid, I saw, I don't, you know, he plays the drums and I'm like,
Yeah. He's get it. Yeah. He's
Okay, let's hear some mom fails. I promised you this like an hour ago. Let's hear some voicemails. And if you have a mom
Now
fail,
it's time for a round of mom fails.
if you have a mom fail, Alyssa, please.
I have so many moms.
Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, good. Okay, so this first one, let's get it to voicemail.
Hi, Christine. My name's Brandon. I'm a big fan of the show. This is a mom fail for you. It's actually two if you got time. When I was probably 8 or 9, my mom was bored at the house, wanted to watch a movie, so she put on Total Recall, and only decided to cover my eyes when there were 3 tits on the screen instead of when there were eyes popping out of people's skulls. So that was fun. And then the next day, she thought it would be better if I watched For the Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, where people's eyes were getting pecked out. So that was also fun. Last one, my grandma, she wasn't, my mom, my biological mom isn't a big fan of her, and when she came to visit one day, one of the few times we saw her that she was allowed over, she borrowed the truck, took us out for ice cream, and when she came home, she parked it really poorly, as in she hit several things, and then she gave all of the kids $50 and then left. And I've seen her 3 times since then.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, a lot of good mothers in my family. Anyway, big fan of the show. Have a good one.
I love him.
I love him too. I get a lot of dad calls, believe it or
That's
not.
so sweet. That was a son call, though, and
Yeah.
a grandson call.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, men
So-
want to be on the show.
I remember the first mom fail I was trying to multitask and do my makeup while breastfeeding.
Oh.
This is Milo.
Impossible.
Right? And so I'm doing like this, and I have my arm, and I'm doing the blush and the whole thing, and I sit him up, and I'm doing mascara like this, and he reaches forward. He's 7 months old, and he touches the light bulb.
Oh, my butt tingled. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's in those vanities, those light bulbs get really, really hot. He had 2nd-degree burns on all of his little fingers, and
oh my God,
it was really, really, really
I'm so
bad.
sorry.
It was awful.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't remember.
I'm sorry.
And I won't be reminding him. But yeah, that was the first one.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
Do
I
you
appreciate
feel it?
that. I need that.
Yeah, I know.
I need that because I clearly haven't forgiven myself yet.
Well, one time,
it's awful.
I sit my kids on the counter all the time, and I know that's supposed to be a big no. They've never fallen off yet, knock on wood. But one time, we just finished using the toaster, so it was hot, and Ellis, I had him on the counter. He was maybe almost 2, and he went to touch the toaster and burned all of his fingers too. And I was like, oh fuck! And the tears and the crying, and then you're trying to pour cold water over it. And I'm like, I'm such a bad mom.
And they're looking at you like, why did you do this to me?
Such a bad person. Could you ever? I remember. Those stupid BuzzFeed type articles where it's like breastfeeding hacks. Did you ever see the one where they're like drive and pump at the same time? You can strap the pump to your tits and drive. Did you ever do that one?
No.
I could never do that.
No.
Who are these crazy women?
I did read a lot of articles though on like how to pump when you've had a cocktail.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh,
and I was surprised to know that like you should be drinking the cocktail while you're pumping because the alcohol won't get to your breast milk.
Wait, what? So that it doesn't have time to process
exactly.
through. Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Well, for your next one.
No. I love my last good egg was that second baby. I got no eggs left, bitch.
Me
I'm
too.
old.
Me too. We
I
might
got
have
the
one
strips.
egg between the two of us.
No, shop is shut down. I got those strips that you dip into
those are
the
good
tit
too.
milk. Yeah, those work. All right, what's our next mom fail? Let's do another voicemail.
Hey, this is Lindsay. My husband is a huge fan and told me about your new endeavor with the Where My Mommy's At. And I, too, don't have any mommy friends, and I'm so super excited to start following along on this with you. But anyway, I thought of you this morning because I'm actually standing in my kitchen by myself, pouring myself a cup of coffee that I'm actually going to drink. And I don't know if this is a mom fail or a mom win, but the reason I'm able to get my coffee by myself without my usual morning insanity is because my 3-year-old son, who is Ellis's age, is playing by himself in the playroom with the door shut, and he won't come out because I've told him I need to change his diaper a few times. And so, yeah, I'm that mom. Letting him play in the playroom right now with a fully loaded PP pair of pants.
It's awesome.
It is.
That's awesome.
Drink some morning coffee. So anyway, good morning and excited about the show again. Bye.
That's awesome. Okay, so I was just reminded, and I don't know why, of another mom fail that I had where my husband and I were taking Milo. Bella wasn't born yet, so he must have been 2. We were taking him to David's best friend's wedding, which was across the country.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And wait, no, this gets
traveling with
so much.
children.
This gets so much worse. As we are taking off from LAX, I look at Milo and I'm like, he's looking peaked.
Oh no.
He looks at me and decides to vomit. Now we're in coach, so we're in like a 4-row across, like middle.
What are you flying coach for? You're a celebrity.
I love how that's your takeaway. That's your takeaway, huh?
God, Alyssa, I could hook you up with some frequent flyer miles.
I don't know. I don't know why we were in coach. Let's just say a first class wasn't available. But my son proceeded to vomit, projectile vomit on the takeoff.
No!
Of a 5.5-hour flight. And my instinct was, as I'm looking at him and in slow-mo, I see the vomit coming out of for some reason, my instinct was to do this. And I caught the vomit in my hands.
No.
And so now I'm covered And you know, you can't stop the smell. You can't stop the fucking smell of the vomit. And he has vomited all over me. He's like perfect, right? Because once they get it out, it's fine. My husband's looking at me totally horrified. I don't have a change of clothes. Not only not for the baby, but for me.
No.
So I then have to be on the flight for 5.5 hours with my son's vomit all over me, the smell just stinking up the entire plane.
Oh my God.
It was so awful. It was so awful. So I guess my mommy fail in that situation would be that I didn't bring changes of clothes.
Well, they have clothes in first class.
Oh, good to know. What a bitch.
I think they have extra T-shirts up there. Extra toilet seat covers. I can't believe it. Ew, you flew that whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
I'm so sorry.
It was awful. And it was literally during the takeoff. And then he was fine. He was fine the rest of the trip. But
oh my God, that is.
I think there was something that happened too, where like the connection flight was delayed.
No,
we weren't flying direct either. You can yell at me for that.
What's wrong
too.
with you? Your husband makes a living. What agency is he with? It's a top agency. Unbelievable.
Anyway, there's my.
You guys are cheap. We got to talk to my husband. He's working on buying a jet right now.
Oh,
so
good.
between
Maybe
the
we
two
can
of
share
us-
it.
No, I mean, it's not a good thing.
Oh, no?
No, I'm trying to discourage. God damn it. Okay. I'm gonna throw up just listening to that story.
Sorry.
That's my nightmare. I would rather be diarrheaed on than barfed on.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was really.
And how did you not barf the whole time? Okay.
Because your kid's barf is different than any other barf.
Right.
Which my mother-in-law told me. Like, I remember my niece throwing up while I was taking care of her, and I was like gagging as I was cleaning up the mess. And my mother-in-law looked at me and said, "It's totally different when it's your own kid's vomit.
Right. You don't care.
It's got to be some weird biological thing."
Yeah, I love him. I'm like, that's cool. I love you.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
I love
okay.
him. Oh God. Okay, let's do another mom fail. One last one, right? Oh.
Hi, Mommy Tina. First time, long time. It's Norm from San Antonio. I have a mommy-daddy fail for you. Me and my wife decided it was sexy times one night, and my 5-year-old son was sleeping on the floor next to the bed, but it was sexy times. So we were getting it on, and right when I was getting to the point where I was almost done and I was ready to splooge, I heard a tiny voice by the bed say, "Daddy, what's that washing noise?" And it totally ruined my moment.
What's the washing noise?
Anyway, that's my mommy-daddy fail. Thank you, Mommy Tina. Love you, jeans. Bye.
Washing noise.
Well, yeah. First of all,
there's so many fails in that story.
Yeah.
No offense.
Do we have to say what's wrong? Like,
no,
should
I
we
think
just say?
we should just. I've never done that.
Well, I feel like I played this call only because let me just tell you, don't have sex with your 5-year-old in the room. Even if they're sleeping. I think it's a bad policy to
even
fuck
if
with
you gave them Benadryl before bed.
Right. Just don't.
Just
I think it's
don't.
Isn't it a crime? Is it illegal? It's something
It should
bad.
be.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Like indecent something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that crime would be.
And I like
but
how
yes.
he's bummed. He's like, and then that kid ruined my orgasm, man.
And then sexy time was ruined.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all?
I don't
crazy.
and I don't like judging like parents
Oh,
because
I
I
judge.
feel like we're. You do?
I judge that shit. That was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
How could you not? That was wrong, man.
Because
there's
don't you
some
think
wrong
like
shit.
everyone's trying to do the best job that they possibly can?
100%. But there is some shit that, look, bro, like, I don't give a fuck if you co-sleep, breastfeed the kid until he's in college. I don't care if you take a shit with your toddler on your lap. I don't. But having sex with a kid in the room, that's damaging, man. I mean, even if you think they don't have a memory of it.
I walked in on my parents having
see?
sex once, and I'll never forget it. I was like, "What are you doing?" And my dad freaked out, and he was like, "We're exercising."
That's a good one to say. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
But then my mom said very calmly, "Your dad and I are making love," and I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
But I knew that was something that the two of them should probably handle on their own, and I just left.
Yeah. No, I say, how about this? Let your kids sleep in their own room and lock the damn door.
Yeah, lock the door. That's
all
do.
it is, man. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Or go bang in the shower and lock the door so the kid can't get in. No, don't bang with your kid in the room.
Yeah.
That's a trauma. That's what nightmares are made out of. Okay, let's do one last one to cleanse the palate. A sorbet of a mom fail.
Hi, Christina P. This is Jill, and I want to tell you about my mom fail. So, I have been known to have a little bit of a temper when I'm driving, and I was going grocery shopping with my kids, and we went to this particular store that has a grocery cart that's shaped like a race car, and I put my kids in it, and we were shopping, and as we went down one aisle that was completely full of customers, my 4-year-old beeps the horn and says, beep, beep, get out of the way, you fucks, in front of everybody. So, needless to say, I've been trying to clean up my potty mouth when I'm driving, and now instead of fuck, we say silly buddies. That's it.
Silly buddies.
That's good. I like that.
Do you curse in front of your kids?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you know what? We don't call them, the bad words in our house are the words like stupid, ugly, anything that's derogatory are the bad words. Cursing is like just adult words. You can say it when you're an adult. That they're not bad words. They're just adult words.
It's very rational.
So yeah,
I like
that's
that.
how we play.
No, you guys are smart.
Otherwise, they think we're saying bad words, and they're not bad. I mean, fuck is like the greatest word ever.
I know. People
They just
are
can't
weird.
say it until they shave.
That's a good. Oh, I like that. That's brilliant. All right, you're smart. Would you mind doing? You want to give advice to people?
Sure.
Okay. Well, what is this one's a bummer, right? That voicemail. I don't want to do that. That's like a death thing.
Right, yeah. I think you have some...
No, let's do something cute. Oh, actually, you can help me. Since you're a varsity mom, I'm a JV mom. This says...
Oh, wait, you want the intro music?
Oh, sorry. Poor Blue Band.
You got mom questions? CP's got mom answers. What would Christina P do?
In this case, what would what's your last name? Milano. AM do?
I like it.
Okay. It says, hi, Christina. Can you please do an episode on potty training? My almost 3-year-old has been daytime potty trained since around 18-ish months old. However, we are stuck on the mini training potty. We started her on the regular potty first, hoping to skip the whole little potty altogether, but the first time she pooped and water splashed up and hit her little booty, she flipped shit and has been terrified of the toilet ever since. I have to bring her potty everywhere. I really want to get her on the toilet. I know, but I'm out of ideas. My strong-willed child cannot be bribed or begged. Not to mention her little sister is about ready to start, and I really don't want her to start this vicious cycle all over again. Help, Linda. So, help.
Okay, so my daughter did this exact same thing. She would not poop in the toilet. She actually got to the point where she would put on a diaper herself to poop in the corner, because I would say to her, and she was probably 3, and I would say to her, look, I'm not going to help you poop in a diaper. So if you want to poop in a diaper, you're going to have to take care of putting on the diaper.
Right.
And wiping and doing the whole thing after you poop in the diaper. She didn't care. She was like, oh, you know what? Great. I'm just going to keep putting on my diaper. Right. And I'm like, well, you can't negotiate with a fucking terrorist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is how I felt, because I was so distraught. And we tried everything. We did that weird, like, where you cut the hole in the diaper, but you leave the diaper on so that when they sit on the bowl, they still feel like they're secure, but the poop goes into the toilet.
I've never heard of this before.
And then one day
I've never heard of.
She just woke up and she was like, I can go now. And she would go, and that was it. She never looked back.
See, that's what I hear, because I'm a 3.5-year-old. My boys were in the midst of, he's okay peeing, but no number 2s. And everybody's like, just relax. One day he's going to tell you, I'm ready to do it.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened with Bella. And we were so stressed. I remember one time sitting with her, she was on the bowl, trying to get her to go. And I was holding her around her waist because she was so terrified of, and I think it's like the gravity feeling,
or the backsplash must not be
that
pleasant
too, but also that gravity feeling of it like coming out. Yeah. And I remember holding her and just trying to, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. And I would start crying, like, I don't know how to help you through this. I wish I understood, and just looking at her with big chunky tears in my eyes, being like, I don't know what to do to make this easier. And then she just woke up one day and was like, I'm gonna go in the bowl, and she never looked back.
Oh, wonderful.
So that would be my advice, is like she's eventually going to do it when she's ready.
When she's ready, yeah. And plus, I imagine she's going to want to be an example to her younger sibling there. I mean, don't they at some point want to be a shining example?
I think so.
Like, hey, look what I can do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at what we do for our children.
I've never been so like concerned with poop.
Yes.
And the color of poop. And the consistency of poop.
Did they poop? What?
Did they poop? Does this poop smell healthy? I mean, like poop.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. Poop.
And poop on my hands, on the clothes. I don't care. But poop doesn't freak me out as much as puke.
What's up with breast milk poop?
Right? It's different color.
And it has that weird seed thing in it that sometimes
it's like greasy, right?
Oh my God.
Wait, I have a breastfeeding question. Will you do one more?
Yeah,
You're so
please,
fantastic.
I'd love to.
You're such a great guest and a mommy. Hold on.
you.
Where's that fucking breastfeeding?
What's trending in mom world?
Oh, is that trending in mom?
Let's
Thanks for
find
reminding me.
out.
Oh my gosh, this one's long. Okay, hold on. Oh, I don't know. I was hoping you could give a counter to this sentiment, because I feel like you're very good at breastfeeding. I'm kind of like, I did my time, I'm out. So here, I'll just read this. Where I feel I may be of service to other mommies is in the realm of breastfeeding. I exclusively breastfed my daughter for 13 months. She did not take a bottle or pacifier, just boob. I'm a breastfeeding advocate. I need to be honest, though, saying things like it's a, quote, magical journey or a form of bonding that you can only achieve through breastfeeding is bullshit, and it helps no one. Are there parts of it that are beautiful? Absolutely. When you look at this little baby that you grew inside you and you are continuing to grow through nursing, it is beautiful. However, when your child doesn't latch properly, or you're pumping to increase your supply, or you're 30 years old with 60-year-old deflated tits because you're done breastfeeding, not beautiful at all. I know many moms who beat themselves up for not nursing, supplementing, or not nursing long enough. Breastfeeding is only beneficial if it works for your family. If it's causing you physical or mental distress, please ask for help. Don't let anyone make you feel inferior if you can't or don't want to breastfeed. A healthy mother is the best mother. Thank you, Erin. What do you think? I don't know.
I think she gave herself amazing advice.
Right.
It doesn't have to be for everyone. Again, it's not the romantic visual that we have. I mean, my nipples bled. It's it's hard work.
It's brutal, yeah.
It's hard work. And if you could get past the first couple of months, it gets easier. But I don't think, I think we need to look at it as, again, we put so much pressure on women, and we really need to look at it as for what it is, which is very convenient.
Yeah.
And
cheap.
it's incredibly cheap, right? And incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
But other things are healthy as well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you're going to be less bound to your child if you can't make it through.
I know.
It's totally okay.
I felt a lot of the pressure, especially with the first baby. The lactation consultant comes around like the minute you give birth.
Yeah.
And they're like
How you
squeezing your
doing?
nips.
How you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready? How you doing? The milk coming in. You got baby's not
When
gaining
they're like,
weight.
make the
Baby's not-
sandwich.
Oh,
make the sandwich.
Yeah.
Make the sandwich.
Oh, the fucking sandwich lady. And then the baby's not gaining weight because you're not, the milk didn't come in yet. And now you got to weigh the baby every day at the doctor's office. And by the second kid, I was like, guess what? Kid's getting formula until my milk comes in.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what I did.
I did the SNS system. Did you?
What's that?
So it's a little, and you can look it up on Amazon. It's a little tiny tube that attaches to like a formula bottle, and you tape the tube to your nipple.
Oh.
And so you're getting the nipple stimulation, but your baby's also getting formula in those first, because Bella came out, there it is.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
I wish
and
I
see
would have
right
known
there?
that. I wish I would have done that.
See, why don't women know about this? Because nobody talks about it. You're supposed to be perfect at breastfeeding as soon as you come out.
That's right.
But we're not. So these trusty little
So
tubes
she's saying
are available.
it's a tube that looks like it hangs around their mother's neck, and you put the formula in the bag here, and then there's a tube that goes it goes alongside the nipple. So when the baby sucks, they're stimulating your nipple to get your milk supply going.
That's right, but still getting formula.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's
I wish I would have known about
it's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I would have done that.
And I wish I was your girlfriend then, because I
I
would have
know,
told you about
GD it. the baby only needs colostrum for the first 72 hours. How many times did you hear that horse
Oh, my
shit?
God, so
Don't
many
worry
times.
about it.
Yeah.
And then nobody tells you how painful it is when the breast milk does come in. It feels like your boobs are just, it's the most painful thing.
And I had one friend, because I was ready to stop doing it, and I had one friend that said, you can do this, and if you get past the first 6 to 8 weeks, it's going to be smooth sailing.
Oh, wow.
You can do it. And sure enough, at around 8 weeks,
Yeah,
it got easier. Yeah.
Anyways, I cannot thank you enough for
Thank
coming.
you.
You're so
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Check out Sorry Not Sorry, Alyssa's new podcast. She's such an outspoken advocate. What's your cause right now? What are you into? What's firing you up that you're talking about on your show?
I'm just trying to make our country kind again.
Oh, I like that.
I was trying to think of how to say that in case we had, I'm just looking at the humanitarian aspects of what our country is going through right now and trying to help.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to hopefully soon usher in an era of more open dialogue between people and kindness.
Kindness.
Yeah, I agree.
And love.
Mm-hmm. It's coming.
Peace.
It's the pendulums. Ultimately, stuff goes back around.
I hope so. I hope my kids get to grow up in a world where those things are important to people.
I think they will, because I actually like millennials in that they're very conscientious. They're very.
That's true.
They're pretty cool, man. Like
Yeah.
they create businesses that have causes attached and stuff.
Yes, and they don't separate. I feel like our generation separated like business with philanthropy.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
And they have Fortnite and
they
cool
can
dances.
move. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Alyssa.
Thank you so much. Yay.
My mom's where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's